Bliss Books and Wine is a bookstore for wine and book lovers who recognize the importance of supporting the artists in their community. Here with me today are sister founders Lanisha Frazier and Lene Robinson. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really looking forward to learning more about Bliss Books and Wine.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So I figured I would jump into my first question. Would you mind telling me more about Bliss Books and Wine?
Yes. So Bliss Books and Wine got started kind of on a whim. I was reading a book over lunch at work, and I really wanted to finish a chapter. And so I was think of like Harry Potter type books. I was reading it, and it was getting into like the fighting scene. And I couldn't finish the chapter because I had to go back to work. And so I was just really frustrated, and I was just trying to figure out a place where I could read a book, finish up my chapter, and have a glass of wine. And I couldn't find a place like that. There's no place really to go for people like me that want to do that. And so I kind of bounced the idea off my sister, and she was just like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. And so, I mean, we've been trucking ever since. And so that's just kind of how Bliss Books and Wine got created that way. So it's a place where book lovers and wine enthusiasts can come together and just be apart yet separate if you want. So introverts, extroverts is for everybody. It's just anybody who just loves that type of environment.
Yeah. Introverts at the beginning of the wine session and extroverts by the end.
Right. Right.
So then when was Bliss Books and Wine founded?
May of 2019. So we're still fairly new. We're getting going.
Absolutely. So where are you based?
We are based out now. We were based out in Kansas City, Missouri. And that's where we were holding all of our live pop-ups and author events and things along that nature. And then COVID hit, so we kind of had to pivot. And so now we are strictly online for right now. So I guess we're all over since we're online.
So when you're online, do you have like online events like a book club?
Mm-hmm. The first Wednesday of every month, we have a book club. And so our community gets to vote on it on our Facebook poll that we do in our group, and everybody kind of picks and then they vote, and that's the book that we go with. So we do online events with book clubs. We do author events. Like tonight we have a author that we're featuring tonight, and she's going to talk about her book and her book release. And then we do we did a paint and sip online and things along that nature.
Writers workshops. We've done a couple of those.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. That's always so exciting to have that platform to work with other creatives. And I'm sure that fits directly in with your motto and your passion for books and wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
We like to bring on local authors or independent authors to come in and kind of have a spotlight on their work and have an audience that they ordinarily would not have access to. So that's part of our mission, is to put that spotlight on them.
Absolutely. So then how are authors able to get in contact with you? Do you usually just accept email requests, or is there some sort of process you go through?
Right now, most people are either emailing us, they'll inbox us on social media, they'll call. It's just they find us, and we're happy. We're happy to take them in and make them a part of the family. So, however you want to reach us, we're here. We'll make it work.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's very inviting community as well, rather than being intimidated of like, oh, I'm nervous to talk to them. I wonder if they'll even accept. But it sounds like you're a very welcoming, very open business to talk to. So I'm already having a really great time speaking with you as well. So it's really nice that you offer that service to your community.
Yeah, we really want the community feel. So, and I tell people all the time, we're not stuffy. Just hit us up and we'll continue the conversations.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So then, would you mind telling me a bit more about your company's goals? You started in 2019, so and I know with COVID you've had to make a pivot, but what are some of the underlying goals that you've kept on?
Well, goals for us, the big goals is getting a brick and mortar. That's our future plans. We were in the process of looking for a house for Bliss Books and Wine, a brick and mortar. But then COVID hit, so then we had to stop. So like we were right there, we were looking, thinking about signing a lease, and then we just kind of had to pump the brakes. So we are just now starting that process back up again. And so hopefully by the end of this year, the beginning of next year, Bliss Books and Wine will have a place of their own. So that is one of the major goals. Yes.
And you'd mentioned, so we talked about the community building part and how you're both very actively involved in that. So I was wondering then on the wine side of things, do you pair with local wineries in addition the way you pair with authors?
We do. So there are a couple of local wineries that we've been partnering with to try to reincorporate the wine aspect while everyone's trapped at home. So we've done book pairings where we picked a group like 6 genres of books, and we had Casey Wineworks pair some of their wines with the personality of the book. So we did that a couple of months ago. We've done some pairings with our featured books for the book club.
That was with Western Wine Company. Western
Wine Company.
Mm-hmm.
We did an event. The paint and sip was with One Hope Wine Company,
Mm-hmm.
and part of the proceeds from the wine purchases went towards one of our local organizations that we like to partner with, Reach Out and Read Kansas City. So that was kind of a way to incorporate a lot of different aspects of the community into one event.
Mm-hmm. So are people able to get a membership through Bliss Books and Wine?
We don't have any memberships right now. It's just the community comes in online and they can jump in and out of book club. We have a core group that tends to stay, but anyone is welcome to drop in and read or not read the book and just come in for the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, we have the various events, and the books are always available online.
Mm-hmm. No, awesome. So then we kind of been talking about this on and off, but I figured I would ask like one more time is just what are some other ways that your company helps the community? We've talked a ton about it, but I was wondering if you had any other things that I didn't ask about.
So we've done books giving for 2 years in a row, where it's a book drive that we do. We were last year or year before last. We were collecting new and slightly used books for adults and children, and we donated them to a local shelter. This year, because of COVID, we only did new books, but we collected for the benefit of Reach Out and Read Kansas City. So we collected children's books and then delivered them to that organization. And the community really went in and purchased books, and they were so happy to receive them. So that's one aspect of Reach Out and Read that we've done. And we've also sponsored some of their fundraising events for the past couple of years. So we, our company is mostly for adults as a getaway from everyday life and family. But that is one way to incorporate the children, and because you have to start out young, you have to get your love of reading from somewhere. Mm-hmm. So that is our way of giving back to that younger audience and build future readers.
Mm-hmm. So that is like you're having a really creative approach. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen anything like your company out there that has all of these different, like a book and wine pairing. That is really, really intriguing. Was this one of your ideas, or did someone recommend this to you?
Oh no, that was my dream baby. that was something that I just tried to figure out. Well, I love to read. I love drinking wine. So I was just like, let's combine the two. And that was just a way that I felt that I could decompress and just kind of escape and get away from real world type of activities. And then my sister also agreed. And then we come to find out there's a community that agrees with that motto as well. So, so yeah, it was just something like, man, I really want to finish this chapter. I want to read this book and have a nice glass of wine. And then it came into me too. And then it just grew from there. So,
and people really like the pairings. They like to see what we can come up with for the personality of the book and the wine, because they both tell a story. So let's tell the story together. So the community really enjoys that.
So you offer audiobooks as well?
We do. Our audiobooks are through Libro.fm. And then we just added recently ebooks, and that is through, I always mess them up. I know the app is My Mush Reads, and I believe it's Hummingbird Digital Media is the actual company that provides our ebooks.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. I looked through your website and I saw there was a thriller series paired with a red wine, and I was like, that sounds like an incredible Friday night.
Yeah.
Especially
Cozy.
Amidst COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I was gonna say, do you guys have your favorite types of genres that you personally enjoy? And also your type of wine that's usually your favorite.
My favorite type of wine is a Pinot Noir.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go-to. I love it. It's delicious. And I love to read. My genre is young adult fiction, fantasy fiction, is where I go.
Mm-hmm.
I favor Pinot Noir as well. During the warmer months, I like a nice glass of rosé. I'm trying to pull her over with me.
I'm coming over there with this Jenny Dawn. I'm telling you, this Jenny Dawn. I'm drinking it now. It's a red caboose rosé from Jenny Dawn, based out of Wichita, Kansas. So she's bringing me over to the rosé side.
I love rosé. As far as my genre, I'm a sappy girl. I'm a romantic at heart, so I like romance novels. My favorite is Beverly Jenkins in her historical fiction romance novels. I love her books. That got me reading as a young adult, and I love everything.
Mm-hmm. You can't go wrong. There's so many different books out there, and that's a great thing. I love the difference too. So yeah, it's good to have different perspectives as you continue to grow your business together.
Yeah.
So you're made in 2019, and there has definitely been some ups and downs, and one of those has been COVID. But I wanted to ask is, how has that been with the trial and error? What other things have been a difficulty, and kind of how have you overcome that or changed your perspective over time?
You want to take that one? We just kind of talked about that yesterday.
So it was different from going with the in-person events, with the premise that we were going to be about community and gathering, which was great, and everyone was having a good time. And then COVID hit, and it came to a screeching halt, and it was like, now what? We can't gather. What do we do? So we were already starting to build our presence online with Facebook, and had a rudimentary website and, a little bit of social media, but it was like, okay, now this is the only arena where we can play. So it's time to step it up. And I asked Lanisha, I was like, well, what do you think about holding a book club session online? We'll get on Zoom and just pick a book and talk about it. We were like, okay, let's, see if anybody is interested, see if they dial in. If not, we'll figure something else out. But it was a hit, and they wanted to keep going. So we were like, okay, everything's online now. We'll just gather virtually like the rest of the world. And then we built out our website and started offering all our books online. And we've established quite a community just outside of Kansas City, outside of the Midwest. It's grown nationally, which is great. Our reach has grown. We're all trapped inside, so everyone is looking for something to do, and it's giving them time to read more and time to read and chat about it. And a glass of wine never hurts anything. So it made us think outside of the box. It made us come up with creative ways, and sometimes you just have to pick something, see if it works, and if not, back to the drawing board and try to find another way to make an impact. So it's been good.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next thing, because after hosting some interviews also with Mug.News, we've noticed that, yes, the community kind of, our original thought of a community went away with COVID. We're all separated. We couldn't be with each other anymore. Right. But like you said, the pivot, the working through the like power through the pain. And again, you're beginning to see that reaching out throughout like the nation rather than just one space. So I'm looking forward though. Do you think you'll do like a hybrid in the future where one day if you do have your space in person once COVID slows down and keeping the writing, do you think that might be in your near future?
I think we'll have to because our group has expanded. They're everywhere, so we can't just go to in person and then leave out everyone that has been rolling with us for the past year. That seems really unfair. So yes, we will have to do something hybrid.
Yeah, we'll have to continue. Even if we do like the book clubs in-house, we'll have to prop up a screen and have them pop up on Zoom so they can participate in it. So yeah, no, we have to keep it going. So
I agree. I look forward when things open up is to do a little bit of traveling around the Midwest and like meet up with some of these businesses that have gotten themselves started. Yeah. So then I was going to ask, what advice do you have for business starters who are starting out at the beginning?
Don't give up. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. Nobody said that being an entrepreneur is a walk in the park. And then I said, maybe Jurassic Park. So you're going to have some great, amazing times and you're going to have some downs, and you just have to continue to know what your why is and why you're doing this, and you have to keep pushing it, and you have to surround yourself with a great support system. When you're down, when you're out, they're going to be pushing you forward. When you're up and you're high, they're going to be celebrating with you. So your support system is really important. And just prioritize time management. I mean, it's a lot, but just don't give up. Like she said earlier, like Lene said earlier, if one way doesn't work, there's millions of ways to get it done. So,
Did you have any advice, Lene?
I would just say to utilize resources. We took like some business classes, but there were so many other resources and organizations available to help that we didn't even think about. But because we knew people, we were meeting other entrepreneurs around the city. They were like, well, go check out such and such, or this group has a program. You might want to look into them. Once you get that glimpse, it's like, I didn't have to do this alone. There are so many people that are willing to help me and that have gone down the road and they have the blueprint, and I don't have to make this up on the fly. So just do your research, talk to people, network, and just utilize all those resources that are available.
And would you say like Googling is a way that people can do it, finding ways to get involved with their local ecosystem building?
Definitely. Google, social media groups, blogs, it's all there. I mean, the internet is just open, so you can find ways. Yeah.
So that was kind of all my questions. I guess my closing out one was, do you have any final thoughts or resources you recommend people to go check out?
Resources. So we utilized the Porterhouse KC. We took their business class, and they have a plethora of resources that will help you. They're actually in the middle of their second cohort right now, or the start of their second cohort right now with their business class. We took EBB, economic or entrepreneur business basics, and that was a class with Kira Cherie here in Kansas City, and she is well known and has a lot of resources as well. What is the other one that I'm thinking of, Lene, that we took a couple of those classes on the weekend? Score. I do not know what SCORE stands for.
but they're connected with the library. So I would say, yes, go to your local library. There are so many programs that they're connected with, and so many resources that they have, and databases where you can look things up. You can look up a business plan. You can look up a spend plan. Your forecasting, it's all there. So I would really urge people to visit their local libraries.
I forgot about that. I did visit there in the very beginning. I went there and they took me down to their computer and they were just like asking me questions and typed it in, and it was just like, here it is. And I'm just like, so much. So I forgot about that. That is a very good resource, your local library.
Mm-hmm. And it's very underutilized.
Very.
It's crazy. I mean, I was even a avid book reader myself, and then I would never think to go to a library for entrepreneur growth. But no, you're absolutely right. So thank you for bringing that up and sharing your experience working with that. Well, again, I wanted to thank you so much for your time. I feel like I learned a lot about Bliss Books and Wine, and I really appreciate your interest in working with us at Mug.News.
Thank you for having us on. It's our pleasure.
It was great. Thanks.